life, I wanna be legit. Everybody turns me down, but I never will quit. This my only life, and I'm gonna live it the way God gives it, cause he's the only one I deal with. My whole life I wanna be legit. Everybody turns me down, but I never will quit. This my only life, and I'm gonna live it the way God gives it, cause he's the only one I deal with.
Let it ride out.
What is up, world, and welcome to my YouTube page. My name is Quentin Fouché, and I am a USA track and field masters athlete, and I am a high hurdler and a sprinter. And I'm making this YouTube page basically to track my return back to the track. It's been about 15 or so years since I competed competitively, and back in the day, so about 15 years ago, I was a Division I track and field athlete at Radford University. Before that, I was a nationally ranked all-state, all-region, all-district sprinter and hurdler at Heritage High School out of Virginia. And now I'm making my return back. I actually just had my first indoor season since 2011, and it went pretty well. I'll do a video to recap that, but basically, to a spoiler alert, I actually won the 60-meter hurdles for my age group, and in Albuquerque for indoors. So the way, if you're a USA Track and Field Masters athlete, the way it works essentially is there are 5-year age groups. So it starts at 25 to 29, 30 to 34, roughly 5 years, 35 to 39, 40 to 45, and so on and so on. And each age group is competing against each other. So you're competing against people that's within that age group that you're in. So currently I'm in the 30 to 34 age group, but later on this year I'll be 35. So I'm going to be going up. And actually this year, when you look at it, the people that are in the 35 to 39 are actually the fastest group out of all of the groups. So it's when it comes to hurdling and when it comes to the sprints. So it's going to be very competitive, and I want to track my return to the track. And I will do a video to recap my indoor season, but it basically, the indoor season and even this outdoor season will be me sort of trying to gain my confidence back, trying to get my speed back, not trying to do too much too soon. And basically that's about it. And in high school, I already said the events I did. In college, I was a decathlete and a 400-meter hurdler. 2 events I never thought I would do in my life, but I did. But a lot of the reasons why my track and field career, I'll call it, came to an end is because I tore my hamstring in May of 2010, so my senior year of high school. And then I was able to still rehab a lot that summer and come back and compete my freshman year at college. I never was the same. Even when I was going through physical therapy, the people that were treating me were saying there's basically no way that they could have me ready by, I think it was September or so, when we began training for college. So I came back, I lost my form, my confidence, and it was basically very, very rocky for my entire freshman year. And ultimately, my sophomore year, I re-injured the same hamstring injury, and that was basically it for a while. And I did try to make a comeback in 2024, but it was more of it. I didn't properly go through the steps, so I basically just went out, trained for about a month, and went right into a meet and ran a 100-meter dash and injured my I injured my good hamstring and my bad hamstring at the same meet. So that motivated me. I took about full recovery, and ultimately early 2025, February or March of 2025, I began training, going back to the grassroots, going back to just basically form running drills for months, trying to prepare myself to make a true comeback, and just basically being really patient and taking a lot of precautions. And I believe that it's really paid off. And then later on throughout the summer, I began to actually uh, think to myself like I can actually compete, and but I didn't want to rush it and say, all right, this summer I'm going to do it. I was basically thinking indoor season, even though it was indoor season of 2025. I was thinking indoor season 2026 was probably realistically when I could come back and compete competitively. And out of the craziness in the back of my mind, for some reason I decided at that point I never thought I could do the high hurdles again. um, and I hadn't done the high hurdle race since my freshman year of college, so it had been over 15 years. Actually 181 months, so 15 years and a month to be specific. But I began training and telling myself like I'm gonna do the 400-meter hurdles. That was what I was training to basically come back and try to do. And in my head, I was thinking like, this is crazy. It wasn't a race that I never thought I would do before I got to college. I only ran it 3 or 4 times in college, and now I'm trying to train for basically the hardest race that you could do. And out of nowhere, Thanksgiving of it was Thanksgiving or the day before Thanksgiving of 2025, I was at the track and I was just feeling really good. Some reason it made me just decide to run over some 39-inch hurdles. And then I realized like, oh, I can really do this. And it everything felt so natural still that it made me decide, yeah, I think I'm gonna train to do this. But at the time, I didn't know much about masters and everything. I was thinking that the only way I could really compete in a high hurdles race was I need to train for 42-inch hurdles, so the college pro height. So around December, now this I know it was December, I began training over 42-inch hurdles, and that's what I got used to. And then eventually, uh, going into January, I realized that hey, I can run in these masters meets. I found a bunch of them or a few of them that I could run in indoors, and I realized I'd been training at 42 inches, but I actually could compete at these 39-inch hurdles, and it would be fine. Um, so, to make a long story short, I went out, competed once, twice, 3 times, and then I was at nationals, and it went very well. Winning my age group, so actually, I can toot my own horn and say I'm a national champion. But yeah, that's basically the story behind why I'm making this or remaking my YouTube page to track my journey. And I'll be taking you all through some of my training, um, and any other content that you all want to see. I'll also be setting some goals for myself. So some of the goals that I'll set, um, I'll start with outdoor because indoor season's already passed, and my upcoming outdoor meet, my upcoming outdoor opening meet is in about a month and a half. and I'll have about 5 months or 5 meets during outdoor season. And I should also probably mention this while we're on the subject of masters and what I'm training for. Uh, I'm gonna I'm basically to summarize it all up. So the 200-meter dash, just side story, is my favorite event. Is my baby. Is ultimately what I would love to go back to doing. But hurdling is such a unique skill set, and it's it's something that I want to do as long as possible. So until I get too old, too stiff, whatever it may be, and I start losing my ability to hurdle, that's what I want to do. High hurdle wise, especially. But when it comes to 400-meter hurdles, I'm doing it not only to test myself, but to build strength, to build confidence, basically to be unique, because everyone that usually watches the race, they're sort of amazed at the speed and the strength it takes to do that event. And I just want to challenge myself and do that. But ultimately, I do want to go back to being a 200-meter sprinter. So for this year specifically, I want to emphasize the hurdling. And indoor, I really, really surprised myself and exceeded my expectations. That basically hurdling is going to be my premier event until I can't do it anymore. But the 200 is my baby. So one day, hopefully next year, I will be able to run I will run the 200 meters indoor and outdoor alongside high hurdles, and maybe continue to do the 400-meter hurdles, but we will see. And one reason why, another thing besides taking this year, my last year being 34, to build my confidence back, to get my speed, fast twitch, everything back a little bit more, is because when it comes to masters, you can compete at nationals when you're in the 30 to 34 age group, 25 to 29 age group, but you can't compete for the USA national team. So you can't go to worlds until you're the 35 and higher group. So when I turn 35 later this year, I'm going to start preparing and training myself to achieve, basically competing at worlds. But for this year, I want to, obviously, my body's changed a lot since running in college and high school and everything. So that's one thing where when I say get my speed back, get my confidence back, everything like that, is also a lot about learning my body the way I used to know it back when I would compete over 15 or so years ago. So now, even saying the 200 my baby, not having run it in 15, however many years, it's one of those things where it might not be the best event for me anymore, um, because my body's changed so much since I was 18, 20, however year old. So that's another thing that I'm taking into consideration. And I'll go ahead and start off with stating some of my goals for outdoor. So I would really love to see in the 110 hurdles, I would really love to see anything 15. So as long as I'm running sub 16 and I'm in the 15s, I would love to achieve that and then continue to build off of it. So 1599, I'll say that as my 2026 110 hurdle goal. When it comes to the 400-meter hurdles, this one is definitely a it's I don't really have anything to work off of. I haven't ran any open 400s and anything. So a very low bar in my mind, but 65 is my season goal, and I'll probably run the race probably 3 times this season. When it comes to 110 hurdles, I'm expecting to run it 5 or 6 times this season. So I will have a lot more reps with that. And when it comes to the 200-meter dash, I might run it later in the season, but it would be something where I would love to see anything 23:99 or lower. Eventually, in the next year or two, I would love to start seeing the 22s and maybe even 21s again, and that would make me, I would be on top of the world if I saw 21 seconds for 200-meter dash, especially being 35 plus. I would be ecstatic. And when it comes to nationals, even indoors, that's what a lot of people are running. They're running high 21s, low 22s, even at the age of 40. So it's something I'm going to work towards. So these are some very realistic goals that I have for myself, and I think that I'll be able to achieve it. It's and I know probably a lot of you out there listening maybe run faster, maybe you have some goals, or you're going through something similar yourself. So I'd love to hear your story and your testimony. If you could put it in the chat and leave a comment, and we can work together and we can try to achieve our goals together. You can reach out to me and let me know what you achieved, what you want to work on, and we can even bounce ideas off each other. But thank you all for listening, and we will continue to be great together. And before ending this welcome video, one thing I definitely wanted to mention is I think a lot of the reasons why I've been able to return back to competing is just basically a lot of patience with myself, not overworking myself. So basically hitting the track 1 day or 2 days a week, and doing other speed endurance or strength endurance a different day, and basically just a structured plan that I've created with myself that I stick to. And sometimes even when my body is feeling a bit more fatigue, a bit more stiff, and tight in certain areas, I've learned to basically tell myself that, hey, this isn't the day. Let's sort of adjust the plan and not overwork myself, or not do something where I'm basically gonna hurt myself and take myself out of the equation for a few weeks of training just because I wanted to go out and push through something. But one thing that I've been using since last September, so coming up on a few months away from being a year now, I've been using the X39 patches. So it's something that it's a patch that uses light to activate your dormant stem cells. It enhances energy, mental clarity, reduces inflammation, pain relief, helps with sleep, and so much more. So I think it's one of the reasons why I give a lot of credit to it, because like I was basically, I had lost hope for actually coming back, especially with hurling. I think this, along with the patients that I described, are the reasons why I've been able to return back to not only just the track and competing itself, but hurling specifically. The inflammation and the pain that I'd had before doing anything is essentially gone. If you have any questions or anything that you would like to learn more about the patch, please reach out to me. You can comment in the chat, or you can you can message me, and I can try to answer any questions that you do have. This is also how the patch looks, and you can put it basically anywhere. Some people wear it on their wrists, Some people wear it over, like if they have, let's say, knee issues or something, they might put it on their quad. But I put it right on the back of my neck, and that's one of the recommended spots on the back of your neck, and then right beneath your belly button are the recommended spots. But yeah, I just wanted to give this little shout out to LifeWave X39 patch. And yeah, that's about it. I might actually do a full episode about the phototherapy and about the X39 patches, because that's a whole it's a whole another thing that could possibly take a while to go into depth about what it is, what it does, some of the benefits and everything. But yep, that's about it. Thank you all once again for tuning in to this welcome episode, and I look forward to posting a lot more content and telling my story and giving you all updates.